Hi, I'm Molly and this is Sensible Stitches. This is a Flosstube about cross stitch, and I was just going to update. It's been almost a month since I've made a Flosstube, and my husband watches them, and we are kind of quarantined from one another, and he asked me yesterday when I was going to make another cross stitch Flosstube, and so anyways, here I am. He's like one of my 18 watchers. He's so cute. I will insert a photograph of him here. So one of his favorite of my pieces, I actually got a finish on. So I guess I'm gonna start with finishes. This was a Christmas gift for my dad, and I have finally finished it. I'm going to send it to the framer. So this one's getting mailed off this weekend, and I gave it to my dad at Christmas. I wasn't thrilled with how it turned out. I've done some tweaking, and so I'm gonna send it to the framer and hopefully get it back to my dad in time for his birthday. So I told him that I'm gonna use this as a gift as many times as possible. So I'm just gonna continue to give it to him. So that was one of my finishes this last month, and I was thrilled with it. A second, and that was from one of the internet sites where you can use your own photograph that you've taken and submit it, and then it creates kind of like a heaven and earth style full coverage picture for you. That's what it created for me. I stitched only the horse, and all of the background I just kind of eyeballed it. So the second finish that I have, I finished for my son. This is the finish that I did, and I am going to also insert a video of me gifting it to my son. Hey Chan, guess what? I made you a cross stitch. Would you like to see it?
Yeah.
And I put it in a frame for you. What do you think? Do you like it?
Yeah.
Does it look like a bee?
Yeah.
Or a monkey?
A bee.
A bee? You said last time you thought it was a monkey. Does it look better with the wings on? Do you like it?
Yeah.
You do? I'm so glad. This is an early birthday gift for you. Happy 22nd birthday. You are a great young man. High fives, dude. I love ya. My third finish for the month was a Blackbird Design Anniversary of the Heart, Swan Lake. And I stitched this one for our nanny. And I guess I'm a little slow on the uptake here, folks, because I stitched it and I was super discouraged because the swans, this is on Oatmeal Aida, and you can barely see the swans because they're bright white and they just did not, I think it's 18 count Fiddler Oatmeal Aida, and they just did not seem to show through at all. And I set it down on top of a dark project bag, and all of a sudden I could see the swans. Sometimes it takes a while. So I've ordered some, this is just a clipboard, but I'm gonna show you what happens. I've ordered some black board that I'm gonna put in the picture frame, because look at how much better you can see the swans if I have dark behind it. I do not know why it took me so long to figure that out. I did know that if you carried a dark thread, you could back it with a dark board to prevent that carried thread from showing. But I didn't really, it didn't register with me that Aida is see-through enough that just adding dark board to it would make my white swans pop. So anyways, that one is a finish. The next piece is from a book called Fables and Fairy Tales, and I will insert a photograph of the book here. So this is my version of the red sampler from that book. Let's see, can you see it? Can you see it? And I replaced the French poem with the words, "When God made you, he didn't miss a stitch," because that's what I tell my children. So it was a more meaningful message for our family. And I actually think I might have this one framed and probably hang it in the kitchen. It looks very kitcheny with its cherries. So that was it for finishes, but I have a few works in progress that I made some pretty good progress on. The first one, I was hoping for a finish on this one and it just didn't happen. Maybe this month I'll finish it up. It is for my youngest daughter, June, and it is the Yellow Submarine Blackbird Designs. So cute. While I'm waiting on it, I went ahead and ordered the Octopus Garden, and I think I'm going to stitch it on the exact same color fabric that I'm doing the Yellow Submarine, and hang them one atop the other. I think they will look so cute as a set. So this is how far I got on my Yellow Submarine. I was able to get the underbelly of the submarine stitched in. I got the fish. I got some of the little details in here. I was able to move the border a little further. And I plan on pulling this out a few times this month. So maybe it'll be a June finish. I guess we'll see. But I'm happy with the progress. I think I thought I was going to have more stitching time than I ended up having in the month of May, and that happens. One of the reasons I had a little bit less stitching time than I thought I was going to have was because the same child also wanted for me to start stitching a geometric heart, and I will add the pattern and the name of the Etsy seller right here. So she selected different colors than what were called for, and I think it's turning out really cute. I think I've got maybe a couple days left. It is more stitching than you might think. This is on 28 count bright white. My red sampler was on 28 count bright white. My Yellow Submarine was on 32 count Rit dyed. My Steampunk Bumblebee was on 32 count Rit dyed. I'm sorry to go back through all this. And my Anniversaries of the Heart and my Racehorse at the beginning were both on 18 count Oatmeal Ada. So I stitch on everything. In fact, the next whip that I'll show you, that was it for my children's pieces that I was trying to get worked on during the month of May. But the next piece that I started working on was, let's see, disorganized here, was Phronsie 1870, and I will insert a picture of the chart here. And I am stitching this one on 40 count Valor, and I have a very small start. You're gonna have to ignore this. I started something here, and when I realized that I didn't need the whole piece, I'm stitching basically from here down. I just didn't pull those stitches. So this is just the dog bed, and I'm only stitching the dog, so I'm calling it Phronzie's dog. I'm only stitching the dog. This is only part of the dog bed. It's on 40 count Valor, and I'm using the called for DMCs. Everything is as called for, except that I'm not using silks and I am only stitching the dog. So I'm very excited about that one. It is a 130 by 130, and it is primarily full coverage because it's just a dog. The next piece that I worked on this month is a gift stitch for my sister, and I'm going to pull this out a lot more hopefully in the month of July. It's the Holiest of Nights by Homespun Elegance. I'll show a close-up picture of it here. This is on 32 count. Oh, I'm upside down. 32 count Witchelt golden needle, and it is 2/2. And this is a gift stitch for my sister. And this fabric is very thin and a little wonky. Lots of slubs. And I like it. So, you know, I love even weave, particularly on things that are like geometric and where it's really important that everything line up. With this particular pattern, I like kind of the wonkiness and the slubs. So anyways, this will be turned into a pillow and hopefully gifted around Christmas time. Let's see, I think that's it for my whips. And then as far as new, oh no, I have one other whip. My last whip is Long Dog Sampler's Wisdom. And this is how far I've gotten on this one. It is 2/2 on bright white, even weave. And I have really loved stitching this. I have ordered the companion piece, Virtue. It's lovely. I think that the color choices are gorgeous and the border is so beautiful, and I'm very excited about finishing this one. This one is just oh so me. And I'm going to have both of them. They'll both be huge and they'll both get framed, and they're going to hang on either side of our bed. I think that they are absolutely wonderful. My daughter asked if rather, like, you know, I put my initials MWM. She asked if when I stitched Virtue, if I was going to put my husband's initials, since it would hang on his side of the bed. I hadn't really thought about that. I think I'll stick with my own, right? Isn't that kind of the deal? Let's see. So I have 2 new starts that I need to get started on this month. In fact, this one I had already intended to start, and you gotta stitch on what makes you happy in the moment. And I got this one completely kitted up and ready, and I just have not started it yet, but I should. It's Forget Me Not by Blackbird Designs. I am stitching this for my best friend, or for one of my best friends, on 36 count Winter's Brew, and I'm only using one of the called for colors, and everything else I just pulled from stash. It's just a mix of Gentle Arts and Classic Color Works. I don't think there are any weeks in here, but the colors are beautiful and they work really well with the Winter's Brew, in my opinion. So I'd like to start on that in the next couple of weeks. And then on the 21st, which is, I guess, like the summer solstice, I'm going to pull this out and get started on it. It is Birds of a Feather. I have it completely kitted. I am missing, there are a few of the Weeks Die Works that I just have not been able to get a hold of. So I'll just start with what I have. I have quite a few of them. So I am planning on starting this one. Let me see if I can get it close enough for you to really see it. It is the Summer Birds of a Feather. And she is just really beautiful. She has all of those kind of wonky birds. The colors are bright and cheerful and wonderful. And I'm going to start that on bright white, even though it's not called for. I mean, what it should go on is something more like this, which I just, this is a piece of bright white, just like this, that I just coffee and tea dyed myself. And this one's a 36 count Zweigart. So that's kind of how it should go. Let's see. But I am going to stitch it on bright white. I just really want those colors, since they are so bright and so vivid, I just want them to really pop. So that is what my plan is on Birds of a Feather. The name is French, and I think I've established that that is not my forte. There we go. And it's wonderful, so I will be starting that this month also, if all goes well. But I will say that I tend to just go where the wind blows me. I have lots of really good intentions. And then I have some possible new starts. Because I finished the red sampler, I have 2 blue samplers that I'm working on, and I have no red samplers right now. So I have a couple that I'm considering adding back into my, I feel like I'm really moving through my whips pretty well, and maybe it might be time for a new start or two. So I have 2 in mind, and I don't know exactly which one I will start. But if I start this one, it will probably be on that coffee tea dyed fabric that I just showed you. And I've ordered the NPI silks. They are so pretty. Chinese Red Range color 503. And this pattern is called Fiona's Show Towel. And there's a lot of negative space in this guy. So you would think it might be kind of a quick stitch. Hopefully my counting is good enough. But it's beautiful, 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 beautiful. And the second one that I'm considering stitching, and this is out of an older magazine. Let me see if I can find the date on this. Oh, maybe it says 1994. Stony Creek Collection, September, October 1994. So this is definitely older, but this rooster, this red rooster, is something that I am definitely considering starting. I'll insert a better picture here. And I think that the rooster might be my guy. The design was by, Nancy Davis, Birds of a Feather. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense, because everything that Birds of a Feather puts out, I just love. So it makes so much sense that I would love this. This is designed by Birds of a Feather. Who knew? Those are my 2 potential new red samplers. And that's it, folks. I'm gonna try and get some progress done on these others. Happy stitching. Bye.